Okay, Shannon, if you could put us on the record.
Go ahead.
This is a matter of Johnson versus Tarmina. Mr. Hotchkiss represents the plaintiff. Ms. Foppel represents the defendant. Appears that the plaintiff is present with Mr. Hotchkiss, and I don't have any confirmation that the defendant is present, but I have authorization to proceed. So this is defendant's motion to modify custody, correct?
Right, Turner. And parenting time.
It would appear that I can't do much with this without taking some testimony. Would you agree?
Your Honor, we attached an affidavit from my client and documentary evidence. I'm not sure what's happened on his end. If you could take just a few minute break, let me try and call and see if he's tried to come on. We've asked for an evidentiary hearing on this, and I thought we had met the basis for proper cause and a change in circumstance through his affidavit and the exhibits. But if you'll give me just a minute, I'm just going to try and call him and see. I'm sort of stunned that he's not on. I see on my screen that somebody's trying to connect here.
All right, I'll just mute both of your windows and go on to the next case. So, Mr. Conant is present. Let me get him in. And this is Walling versus Walling. What did you do? What happened, Jan?
Oh, I did a handspring inadvertently and didn't stick the landing.
Collarbone?
No, 2 fractured elbows.
Oh.
You have Mrs. Walling on?
Yes. Okay. Both parties are. I just need to let them in.
Judge, do you know Miss Fopel?
Only she's been in my courtroom, I think, once before by Zoom, but no, I don't know her.
Do you remember the case that got nationwide publicity when that little Jessica DeBoer was adopted out of the state of Michigan?
And from Iowa?
Was it Iowa or yeah.
I think it was Iowa, yeah.
It was on live TV.
So she was on that case?
That was her case. Yeah.
Wow. That was a tough.
My son was the same age as that little girl, and I just couldn't stop crying for a week.
Oh, it was horrendous. Yeah. Horrendous facts. Anyway, all right. It looks like everyone is here on the matter of Walling versus Walling. It looks like we have objections to, it says final order. It shouldn't have been a final order. It should have been an interim order. I think sometimes they get a little confused because more often than not, what we get are recommendations for temporary orders in a DS case. Well, their recommendation is supposed to be for a final order. Anyway. And we're also scheduled for a pretrial?
Yes.
We are streaming and on the record, so I guess we will simply do the pretrial on the record as well. So let me ask about the objection to the what I will make a temporary child support order.
We're stipulating that there needs to be an adjustment, Your Honor. So that motion, I think, can be disposed of by stipulation. Is that right, Mr. Conant?
It is. We could just refer it back to the front of the court and let them just recalculate.
But make sure you put in their stipulation that they need to change the title to a temporary order.
Okay.
Otherwise, when the clerk's office enters it, who knows? They may just look at final and not realize that this is a divorce case and we're nowhere close to entering final orders.
We're also very close to a complete settlement. We were going to ask the court if we could just put proofs on.
Sure.
And we're hoping we can present you with a signed consent judgment of divorce within the next couple of weeks. My schedule kind of got turned around because of my event. So
Can imagine.
we could maybe have 2 weeks to get you a final judgment?
No problem.
Okay.
So let's see, you represent the plaintiff, Ms. Walling. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, please. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
You can put your hand down now. State your full name, please.
Jennifer Michelle Walling.
Go ahead, Ms. Hamilton.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Walling, you're currently married to James Walling, is that correct?
Yes.
Are you able to see him on the court video, just out of curiosity?
Yes, I can.
And he's present today by Zoom, is that right?
That is correct.
Yes.
And you filed a divorce complaint, or caused me to file one. Is that a true statement?
Yes, it is.
And before you did that, did you live in the state of Michigan for more than 180 days or 6 months?
Yes.
And before you caused me to file the divorce complaint, did you live in Jackson County for more than 10 days?
Yes.
Great. You've indicated in the divorce complaint that the marriage relationship is broken down and there's no possibility of reconciliation. Is that how you feel today?
Yes, it is.
And you're not currently pregnant, are you?
No, I am not.
That's a question we're required to ask by law. No insinuation intended. You want to be divorced, and when we can present the court with a signed consent divorce decree, is what you probably call it, you want the court to enter that judgment and divorce you once, finally, and forever. True statement?
Yes, it is.
I have no further questions, Your Honor, and I just respectfully request we have the opportunity to have, maybe if Mr. Conant is all right with 3 weeks, maybe that's a little safer.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
That okay with you, Mr. Conant?
No problems. Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll just set it for a status conference. If a judgment is submitted before then, there will be no need to appear. I am satisfied based on the proofs that there has been a breakdown in the marriage. To the extent the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, there remains no reasonable likelihood that it will be preserved. And I'll watch for that. Shannon, could you remove the trial date and set a status conference for 8:30 in 3 weeks?
Yep.
Thank you.
7-3? Oh, 8:30.
8:30.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, looks like Mr. Tarmina has shown up. Let me get him in. Okay, so Ms. Fopple, I muted you.
All right.
There we go.
Now, and
I
Joe,
can,
you have
yes.
to unmute yourself. Joe, you're on mute, so there should be an unmute button.
Got it.
Okay, good. We're all set. Thank you for your patience, Your Honor. There's a misunderstanding here.
So, Mr. Hotchkiss, do you contest whether or not there's a proper cause or a change in circumstance that would keep me from revisiting custody or parenting time?
Your Honor, with respect to the majority of the bases that were alleged in the motion, we do object to that. However, the one thing that we really can't object to is the fact that Xander is now of school age. He will have to begin school this fall somewhere. There's currently a court order that this court endorsed out of Missouri that provides a 3-week on, 3-week off rotation of Xander back and forth between mom and dad. Given that it is likely that this court would find that there's an established custodial environment with both parents, that will necessitate an evidentiary hearing as to that issue. So under the circumstances, I think scheduling an evidentiary hearing is appropriate. Thank you.
All right. Well, what I'll do is have Dawn get with both of you, find a date and time that's appropriate. I'm assuming this one's going to take a while. Should we plan a whole day?
Yes, Your Honor, at
Yes,
least.
Your Honor.
All right, we'll try to find a date where you can have a full day and not have to worry about multiple return trips, but I'll have Dawn get with you. We'll locate a date and we'll definitely try to get something done well before the start of the school year.
So, may I ask a question? We've, it's sort of embedded in our motion, but I just want to clarify this. One of the issues in this case is a choice of schools. Apart from everything else, the mother has enrolled the child in a district. She has never disclosed what district it is, but I assume it's the Hanover-Horton district because she moved to Hanover. I had to get a detective to confirm an address for her because she's never provided Xander's current address to my client. And I'm just assuming that she's got him in that district, although she never disclosed that to my client. But I think there's a choice of schools under Perone versus Perone in this. So at the hearing, I'd like to be able to call an expert on the school issue because that would have been resolved by an award of sole legal custody to my client. But I didn't file a separate motion just on the school issue. But I'd like to ask that that be included in the evidentiary hearing.
I think it necessarily has to be, since the court's going to have to decide which parent this child's going to have to live with during the school year. That's going to determine which school.
Right. And then there's the additional issue of which school, apart from the custody and parenting time issue.
Well, I mean, true if there are multiple choices, but if one parent lives within a school district and there isn't a choice, I'm certainly willing to entertain that, but I'm thinking, yeah, it just depends on the situation. We do have school of choice issues, so I get that.
Okay.
I'm certainly willing to entertain that as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then we'll get a date, but will we also get a scheduling order with a deadline for witness and exhibit lists?
I don't normally do that with evidentiary hearings. I'm happy to discuss that with you today. When do you think you could have a witness list ready?
I could do it within a week.
Mr. Hotchkiss?
I could do it within a week as well, Your Honor.
All right, that's fine. Let's do that. Why don't we do this? Why don't you submit a stipulated order for exchange of witnesses and exhibits? And I'm fine if you decide you want more than a week. I'm fine with that. Just whatever you want, put in it. And then put a blank date. The court will schedule this matter for an evidentiary hearing on blank.
Okay.
Submit it with the blank, and then when I send that down to Dawn, I'll have her check with both of you before we identify a date.
I'd appreciate it. And if we're going to try and do this in one day, I just felt that knowing in advance the witnesses and exhibits would facilitate, be more efficient if we did it that way.
Fine with me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Everyone have a good day.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So we're waiting. There we go. Looks like we've got everyone connected. This is a matter of Petrinovich versus Sims. Ms. Danke for the plaintiff, Mr. Navarre for the defendant, and both parties are also present. And the issue is transportation of the minor child. Is this going to require an evidentiary hearing, counsel?
Judge, if we could have a few minutes, I was just about to have a conversation with plaintiff's attorney, and I think that we may be able to resolve some things. At least we've narrowed the issues, and we may be able to address it that way.
Do you think maybe putting all four of us in a breakout room for a
That'd be
quick
fine.
conversation?
Sure, that'd be fine.
All right, hold on. That's fine with me. I'll create a single breakout room and put everyone in it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When we see you pop back out on the screen, we'll know you're ready to get my attention.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Folks, just follow the instructions